Hello everyone, welcome back to session 5, part 2. So, in the previous class, we learned how to use the input function to ask the user for information. We built a first interactive Python program by asking user for their name and displaying a welcome message. So, today we are going one step further. Instead of asking just one question, we will learn how to ask multiple questions, store multiple answers, and create programs that feel much more like real life applications. So, before we start, let me ask you something. Okay? So, imagine you are creating a college admission form. Should the form only ask student's name? Of course not. It also asks for his informations like age, phone number, address, email, course, date of birth, and etc. Why so? Because one piece of information isn't enough. Similarly, most computer programs need multiple inputs from the user. So, let me give you a real life analogy to make you understand even more, much better. So, think about the college form only. College admission form. So let's say, think about the day you first joined your college or school. You probably filled out an admission form, right? The form didn't just ask a simple one question. It had various sections divided and wanted a huge a large, more, not only a single information, but various information. Like it asked your name, then let's say father, father's name, and like that, mother name, mother name, then your address maybe, then your phone number. One by one, they have asked many questions. Every answer was stored in a different place in the database of the college or the school. So computer don't mix all the information together. Each piece of information has its own storage. So Python also works exactly in the same way. Every answer to these questions are stored inside a separate variable. So let's talk about the food delivery app. Imagine you are ordering food online. Then the app asks you what's your address, which restaurant to order from, what food would you like to order, would you like to how would you like to pay, online or cash on delivery. If the app asks one question, could it possibly deliver you the food? No, it needs multiple input before it can complete your order. So, similarly, we will be talking about multiple inputs today in this session. Now, let's open our online compiler. So, let's write name, then let's say we will add my age when input, input age, and let's say city, input function, and semicolons, enter your city. Is something. Every line here has its own separate variable. For the first one, it's name, then secondly, it's age, and then it's city. So the point is that name goes into the variable name, the age input goes into the variable age, and the city goes to the city variable. So Moving on, we will print it. So let's print the name, and we will print the age. After that, we'll print city. We're done with it. Let's run the program. We'll enter our name. Let's see order. Then my age, my city. Let's say Jalan. I see it's printing every information. So Python waits for your answer every single time it reaches an input function. So the difference between the input function and the print function, let me clear it. So let's fill it here. So difference between input function and print function. So the common first difference is that input just takes information, and the print displays it, displays the information, right? So let's say many beginners get confused between these two functions. Let's understand them with a simple analogy. So imagine I am your teacher. So when I ask what's your name, I'm taking input, and when I say good morning everyone, I'm giving output. One receives information and one sends information. Exactly the same happens here in Python. So let me give you another example. Imagine you are watching a cricket match. Umpire asks the player, did the ball touch the bat? That's collecting information. Later, the big screen displays out. That's the output. Input collects and output shows. So let's type something. You all also need to type along with me in your coding platforms. Let's again take name as an input. Here we'll write enter name. Then we will print hello and the name. First, the Python will ask you the name. I'm writing Aman here. Then it will speak hello Aman. So that's why functions are usually used together. So let's start with our first small interactive application. Let's do it here only. We have taken the name. So we will just take yeah. It's the city. You all need to practice along with me. It will make a healthy coding practice for you all. Now, city, then of course. So input, enter your course. So let's print it. Let's, let's print it in a beautiful way. Look good. Print. Then we will print the heading like student like this again to create a beautiful beautiful effect. Now print the name. Likewise, we will print the age, comma, age. Then we'll print the city of the city. And lastly, we'll print the course. Uh, let's run it. So it asks for my name, then the name, then my age, then my city, then the course I'm enrolled in, the people. So see this here, it gives a very good UI or the good, sorry, not UI, displays it in the form like it's an admission college admission form. So seeing the output, this is how registration systems in surveys and many other forms, online forms begin. We're simply collecting the information from users and organizing it. So the common beginner mistakes here are sometimes we forget to give the variable name and just write the input. So it would display an error because they have not no variable to store the information, right? So let's just undo it. So we also another mistake is that people print and then give here input just like this, but it would not print itself. The print information about the function itself, not the user type. So we will have to write the name of the variable in which the input is stored, not input. So now it's your turn. You can create a movie ticket booking form. Asks for the name, movie name, number of tickets, and then display booking successful with the name, movie, and tickets name. Okay. And also you can also create a library membership form like this only in this format I've given. It would help you practice. Take following inputs like name, age, favorite book, city in the library form. So we learned about the input and print function, how to take multiple inputs. And so let's let's just begin begin further and solve it like there must be a question in your mind that why does input function always gives me text, right? This introduces type conversion, that is int float string, includes debugging, mini project, and wraps up input and output chapter. So next we will learn about the type conversion. So let's begin with the type conversion. So let's just revise. We have learned about input function. We have created interactive programs for names, cities, age, and other details. But today we are going to solve one of the biggest mysteries beginners face. Imagine I ask the user to enter two numbers, 10 and 20, and if I add them together, what would the answer be? So you will answer 30, right? It's an easy question. So that's what everyone accepts. But Python gives you something completely differently. Let's let me just show it to you. Remove it. Let's take number one equals to input. We'll write here enter, let's say first number. Then we'll take the number two, which would say like input, then enter second number. Right. Now let's add them. Print num1 plus num2. So what would possibly be the output? Let's predict it. If you take 10 and 20, then the output must be 30, right? So let's run the program. First number is 10. Second number we'll write is 20. What do you think the output will be? Why is it showing 1020? Wait, where did this 1020 come from? We wanted 30, right? So let me help you understand it with a real life analogy. So imagine you write the house numbers, some house number 10 and 20 on two pieces of paper. Instead of adding them, you simply place 10 and 20 beside one another. What do you see? 1020, right? That's exactly what Python did here. Python didn't know these were numbers. Didn't know these were numbers. It thought they were text, right? So it's just concatenated them, like just placed them side by side. They thought they were text. So why does this happen? Here's something every beginner should remember. Input function, if you write as it is, then it will always return a string. No matter what the user types, 10, 20, 50, any number, anything, any decimal, the Python treats it as a text. So let's just check it by using the type function which we had learned in the previous sessions. So take an input of age, then we write enter your age here. So now let me check the type of the variable, data type here of age. So let's run it. First, let me enter the age 22. See, it's showing str, but we wrote a number here. How's it so? So as I already told you, even though we entered 22, Python says it's a string because input function always takes a string. So here we introduce you with the int function. We will introduce you with the integer function. So how do we tell Python that the input which we have taken is a number? Python gives us another function named int. So let's just try to figure it out. Let me remove it. Here we'll write the age equals. Then I will write the int function here. Int, then input. Then I will write enter age here, and then print its type. Let's see what it gives. Type age. I hope if we write 22 here, see, it's now giving the output the type as int, integer. Think of int as a translator. It translates input to integer. Excuse me. So imagine someone from Japan comes to India and speaks Japanese only. You don't understand, right? So a translator converts Japanese to English. Now the communication becomes easy. Similarly, input gives us a text and the int translates that text into an integer. I hope you are clear with it. So now let's just try another program. Let's try this with adding numbers again using the int functions. Previously we did it with the input function. We didn't get the desired output. Now let's see if we get it or not. So input, enter first number, then take num2 int input, enter second number, then we'll print it sum equals to comma num1 plus num2. Now let's run this program. We will write the first number as 10, then 20. So now what do you think the output will be? Now see, it's giving the output as 30 here, not 1020, right? 1020. So now we get the correct answer. And so likewise, we have written int. So for the decimal numbers, we also need some function, right? Integer can't store decimal. So we have another function known as float function. Okay. So what if someone enters 5.5? It won't be used through int function, right? We will have to use the float function. So let's rub this on another program. Let's take height equals to float. Then we'll write input. We will have to write input everything because we need to take the input, then it will convert the input type into float. We can't miss the input here. Then enter your HCIGST height, enter height, then print the height. Let's check its type too, make it more clear to you. Type of height. Let's run this program. So it's asking for my height 8.8. See, it has printed the height and also given the class as float because we have already converted the type from string in input to float. So the analogy behind it, let me explain it to you. Think about a measuring tape. If your height is exactly 5 feet, then it's like an integer. But if your height is 5'8" or 5'9", then you need decimal values. That's why float is useful here. Sometimes we want the opposite too, right? Uh, Suppose we have age equals to 19. We want to, it is stored here as integer, right? It's 90 because it's not in inverted commas. So we want to store it as text now. So we can write age equals to str function and then write age. Let me remove it for you to clearly understand it. Age equals to str age. So now let's print the type of age here. I've done it. So let's run this program. So it's showing str. We took the age at integer, but we changed its the type conversion we have done here to string. Then it will show that it is a string. str function converts data into text. So some common beginner's error which I'm going to tell you, which people do is they write like say num equals to input. They take number as input, right? So they don't convert it into integer and they start to write it like this only into number. Then they try to print like say num plus 5. So it won't print anything, right? It won't print that their desired output. It would only print by concatenating, right? If we write here 40, then num plus 5, it will give an error because we cannot concatenate string. We can only concatenate string, not numbers, right? We cannot add numbers with the string. Correct it by adding an int. So let's write another program. Age equals to int, then input. Enter your age. It asks me to enter my age. Then let me predict future age. Future underscore age after 5 years. So let's say age plus 5. We'll predict age after 5 years. So let's write, oh sorry, it's print after 5 years you will be when our future age old. Then we'll run it. Write your age 15. See, after 5 years, you will be 20 years old. It automatically added 5 and gave the desired output. This is a small example of how user input and calculation work together in a real life programs. So there's a small activity for you all. You need to create a program that asks name of the user, current age, and then will print the age after 10 years. Likewise, we have done here 5 years. You will need to just write it 10 years. Or you can also create a BMI information program. You take name, weight, and height and do the arithmetic operations required for BMI. It's easy only, and then print the BMI is and then the output. So today we learned about the input function always returns a string. We learned why adding two inputs sometimes give unexpected results. We solved the programs using input int function, float function, and str, fixed common mistakes, built our age prediction and calculator programs. These concepts are the foundation for every interactive Python application you will ever build. In the next session, we will be moving on to Python operators, where we will perform calculations, compare values, and make our programs much more powerful. So, thank you for watching this video. Keep practicing, and I will see you in the next session. Happy coding. Thank you.